Have you ever watched someone you loved for 15 years walk away, believing they were chasing happiness, only to realize too late what they had left behind? My name is Daniel Carter, and this happened in Seattle, Washington. For 15 years, Emily wasn't just my wife. She was my best friend. We met at the University of Washington when we were both broke college students, surviving on instant noodles and impossible dreams. She wanted to become an architect. I dreamed of building my own construction company someday. Life didn't hand us shortcuts. We rented tiny apartments with leaky ceilings, worked late-night jobs, and celebrated anniversaries with dollar store candles and takeout pizza. Those were some of the happiest years of my life. Eventually, my company started growing. Not overnight, but brick by brick. Emily landed her dream job at one of Seattle's top architecture firms. Together, we bought a beautiful home overlooking Lake Washington. Our daughter, Sophie, completed what felt like a perfect family, or at least. That's what I believed. Everything changed after Emily attended a company retreat in Oregon. When she came home, something was different. She smiled less. She stared at her phone more. Conversations became short. The warmth in our home slowly disappeared. I convinced myself she was simply stressed. I was wrong. One rainy Thursday evening, she asked if we could talk. The words she spoke still echo in my mind. Daniel, I think I've met someone. My entire world froze. I waited for her to laugh and tell me it was some terrible joke. She didn't. She looked straight into my eyes. I never planned this, but I've found my true love. True love, after 15 years together, after every sacrifice, after every promise. I couldn't even find the words. Finally, I asked quietly, "Who is he?" She smiled in a way I'd never seen before. "His name is Ryan." I expected a millionaire, a famous entrepreneur, someone extraordinary. Instead, Ryan was a middle school art teacher living in a modest apartment outside Portland. He drove an old pickup truck. He earned less in a year than Emily earned in 6 months. She described him as simple, peaceful, authentic. "He makes me feel alive again," she whispered. A month later, she filed for divorce. She left our home. She left me. She even left Seattle. Sophie decided to stay with me while finishing high school. I never begged Emily to return. Love isn't love when it's forced. Instead, I focused on becoming the father my daughter deserved. The first year was brutal. The house felt empty. Birthdays hurt. Holidays hurt even more. But pain has a strange way of changing people. Instead of drowning in loneliness, I threw myself into work, not because I wanted revenge, because I needed purpose. I expanded my company across Washington and Oregon. I started mentoring young contractors. I volunteered rebuilding homes damaged by wildfires. Little by little, life began to feel meaningful again. Then something unexpected happened. At one volunteer project near Spokane, I met Grace. She wasn't trying to impress anyone. She spent weekends painting walls, carrying lumber, and making coffee for exhausted volunteers. She laughed easily, listened carefully, and never once asked how much money I made. We became friends. Months later, those friendships quietly became something deeper. She never tried to replace my past. She simply helped me believe I still had a future. 3 years passed. Sophie graduated from college. Grace and I became engaged. For the first time since my divorce, I felt genuinely happy. Then one afternoon, while attending a charity gala in downtown Seattle, I heard a familiar voice behind me. "Daniel?" I turned around. "Emily." She looked older, not because of age, because life had weighed heavily on her. The confidence she'd carried during our divorce had vanished. She stared at Grace standing beside me. Then she looked at the engagement ring on Grace's hand. For several long seconds, no one spoke. Finally, Emily asked softly, "So, you're getting married?" I nodded. "I am." She forced a smile. "I'm happy for you." But her eyes told a different story. Later that evening, she asked if we could talk privately. We walked outside overlooking Elliott Bay. She took a deep breath. "Ryan left 2 years ago." I stayed silent. He wasn't the person I thought he was. Another pause. "I lost everything." She looked at the water before whispering, "I made the biggest mistake of my life." Those words carried no anger, only regret. Then she looked directly at me. "Do you think people ever get second chances?" It was the question she'd really wanted to ask all evening. I answered honestly. "Sometimes they do." Hope flickered across her face. Then I continued, "But second chances don't always come with the same person." The hope disappeared. I wasn't trying to punish her. I simply couldn't erase years of heartbreak because she regretted her decision. Love deserves honesty, not guilt, not pity. She nodded slowly. "I understand." Before leaving, she said something I'll never forget. "I kept chasing excitement when I already had peace." Then she walked away. That was the last meaningful conversation we ever had. Months later, Grace and I were married in a quiet ceremony surrounded by family and close friends. Sophie stood beside us with tears in her eyes, not because she missed the past, because she finally saw her father smiling again. Life has taught me something important. Sometimes people confuse excitement with love. They mistake novelty for destiny. Real love isn't always dramatic. Sometimes it's the person who stays when life gets difficult, the one who keeps showing up, the one who chooses you every single day. I don't hate Emily. Holding on to resentment would only keep me trapped in yesterday. Instead, I'm grateful because losing what I thought was forever forced me to build a life I never imagined possible. A life filled with peace instead of fear, trust instead of doubt, and love that never asked me to become someone else. Looking back now, I realize something ironic. Emily thought she had found her true love, but it was only after she left that I found mine. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments below.